But on a better note, something really cool that's happened since I've been back is I've been nominated for the Black Podcast Award. So, and helping us win and take home that would be amazing. You're listening to the Black Directory Podcast, where we focus on bringing Black entrepreneur experiences to the forefront. Each week, we will discuss the highs, the lows, and everything in between. I'm your host, Diamond Young. Let's dive in. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Diamond. I'm your host of the Black Directory Podcast, and we are back with another episode. I missed you all. I know last week we skipped an episode, but I've just been recovering from London. I finally made it back. For those of you who don't follow me on Instagram or TikTok, be sure to do that because I put out a lot of content. I really made sure to just document my experience in London. I was there for about a week and it was really dope. It was really cool. I really tried to put my content creator hat on. Of course, I was, on vacation as well, but I put that hat on and just tried to make the most out of it. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm proud of myself. I don't know if anyone can relate, but some content is like hit or miss. And then you have content where you just feel like, oh, wow, I think I captured everything. It came out great with the editing. And I think people were able to feel like they were with me in London. So my Instagram and TikTok is Diamond Unlimited _. So if you go there, you can see some of my, day in the life of London edition kind of content. It was amazing. It was really amazing. It was my second time, but first time in the UK. It feels like the first time really just going somewhere just far, like really using my passport, really just getting a different experience. I've never been on the airplane that long. So yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, like, am I not going to feel well? Because sometimes I get like motion sickness. So I took my little medicine and it really wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. It was hard for me to sleep on the plane just because of the time that I left and everything. But overall, it was not as bad as I thought it would be. So, which is a good thing. I got there safely, came back safely. I went with my cousin Jazz, which you all have heard her on the podcast before. So hopefully I can get her back on soon so we can really just talk about what we took away from the trip. We had fun. We learned a lot and, we met people, that's always good. Just meeting people on your travels and really getting a sense of like what their life looks like over there. And, I don't know, it was really nice. They make really good, they do very good, American accents. So that was funny. I like to think that I can do a good British accent, but you feel really insecure when you're like in that territory and you're like, okay, I don't want to sound stupid. Like, let me just not. But they had no shame at all doing their American accent. So that was a lot of fun. The best food that I had out there was like this Caribbean restaurant. I have to figure out the name of it. It's in the video, but that was fire. Like that food was amazing. So I don't know. It was just a really cool experience. Of course, there were some differences, with London compared to the US. There were some similarities, but I'm just glad that I was able to have that new experience with family. So that's always a highlight, but definitely wanted to just let you all know how it went because that was really like the last thing that I think we talked about was I was just up late, getting prepared to go, but now I'm back. So it's always so weird getting back and just getting into the swing of things. So I feel like I've been just off for like a week, just readjusting to work and, Black Directory and just things going on. And it's just been some crazy things going on in my personal life I guess not personal life, is business. Well, yeah, personal and business life to where, there's been a few setbacks. I've just been dealing with that mentally as well and just trying to regroup and reset. So I'm hoping that this week is a better week than last week. So I've just been in the house, just really regrouping. Today was just a great day to like clean up and reset because they always say that, your house is a reflection of your mind. So I feel like my house was looking crazy because I was feeling, off myself. So I'm just trying to get the house right and just take those steps towards really putting my best foot forward this week and just praying for positivity and for good things to come. So yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week. Like, I can't even begin to tell you all what's been going on, but it's in the past. I'm going to move forward. And just hope to invite positive things into my life. But on a better note, something really cool that's happened since I've been back is I've been nominated for the Black Podcast Award. So that's super, super exciting to me. This podcast is something that I love and I'm passionate about. And it's just really cool to see what I've been able to accomplish just so far within the last year and a half. So I'm hoping that, more things like that are coming or are on the way, So I kept seeing the ads and the postings about it. And I was like, okay, this seems, pretty cool. So just to make it to the final round of nominations, it's me and 2 other podcasts. And it's a Black Podcast Award. So it's amazing to see all of us Black podcasters, become nominees and really just go through this process. So that's really, really exciting. I'm going to leave some information in the show notes because next Sunday, September 25th, is the live ceremony. So with the live ceremony, that's when they'll announce who all the winners are and all that good stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes but you're like, you don't know. No, I'll know when you all know at the same time when it's on live. So again, I will share all this information with you all. That way you can just tune in, support us. And also if you really want to support us and you really enjoy this podcast, there's actually a way to vote as well. So they have another category. Let me see what it's called. It's a category called the Listener's Love Award. And that's an award where all the nominees can participate. So with the category that I submitted for, it's the Best Black Business Podcast. So from my understanding, there's a lot of judges and the judges will kind of determine that. But there's another category that we all can enroll in, which is the Listeners Love Award. So if you would like to vote for us, which I hope you will, I'll leave a link for you to do that as well. But you can also find it on vote.blackpodawards.com. That's where you can vote. And I'll also include the link in the show notes. But yes, if you've enjoyed this podcast, if you've learned something, taken away something, I would love your support, and helping us win and take home that would be amazing. And, I just want to encourage you all, for any business owners listening, and maybe you've thought about, okay, what's some things that I can, have under my belt, or honors and awards, because I know for me, when I was applying for something, there was a section that said, oh, list your honors and awards. And I felt so awkward because I'm like, I don't think I have any. I had to really think hard. Or you may have honors and awards that aren't really related to your business or your industry. And I really challenge you to take 30 minutes. Take an hour, pick a day out the week where you look into this. It doesn't mean you have to apply right then and there, which I think you should, but really make a list. Make a list of, okay, what are things that I want to go for? Because what you're going to see is, oh, wow, there are things that I can submit for or compete for or whatever, right? That I could take advantage of. And some dates may have passed and some dates may have not, but you could just make a list of, okay, during each year, I can apply to these things. It's just a good thing because I noticed with this process, it was required that we submit a sizzle reel. Of course, this is something that is important to have anyways, but I didn't have it, but I had to get it in order to complete my application. So it was really great even for that reason, because it really makes you think. Like, those applications really will humble you and make you think about, oh, wow, this question is taking me a little bit longer to answer versus these other ones. And it's just good. It's just good to gauge and see where you are. And of course, if you win, to me, it just adds so much credibility. That's really why I wanted to do it, is, okay, that would be cool to say, okay, Black Directory Podcast, an award-winning podcast, things like that. So it's the credibility for me, that was something that was a driver. Of course, more exposure, right? That's always a good way to stand out when you introduce yourself in a room, more exposure for people to listen to your show. And I don't know, it was just something that I could be proud of, something that I could strive for. So, and actually at the Black Pod Festival that I went to earlier this year, it was a person introducing themselves and they were like, hey, I'm an award-winning podcaster. And that was just so powerful. It was really powerful. And I wanted to know what that felt like. So, and it turns out that the award that they won is from this same company. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So again, I suggest everyone just do that research because these are things that we should want to know anyways. Again, even if you're not applying right away, it's just good to have a bucket list or create some goals of like, hey, what are some things I want to do in the community this year? What are some things I want to nominate myself for? I've nominated myself for a few things this year and some I didn't get, right? And some I'm waiting on. I applied for the Forbes 30 under 30. That was something I've always wanted to do. I've applied for HBCU Buzz 30 under 30. What else? The Black Pod Awards, and I'm missing something. It's something else that I'm sure I'm forgetting, but this year I'm just deciding to go for it. I don't want to count myself out. Now, do I have that feeling sometimes of like, okay, I don't know if I really can do this or if I'm qualified yet? Sure, but I don't want to let that stop me from trying because at least I can see what the process is going to be like. I can see what to expect so I can come harder the next year. So that's my sermon for today. If there's something that you've been wanting to go after, or maybe you don't even know what's out there for your industry, check some things out. Really look into it and see and do it for fun. Take that pressure off of yourself and decide, you know what? I'm just going to do it. That way I can see what this process is like. You never know the favor God is going to have over your life. And what's for you is for you. And sometimes you may not get it this year, but it doesn't mean that you won't get it in the future. So please don't let that stop you. So I definitely wanted to share that with you all. Have you always wanted to create a podcast, but don't know where to start? Do you already have a podcast, but you're not sure if you built and launched it in the right way? No worries. Check out my ebook guide, How to Launch a Podcast in 30 Days. In this ebook, you will learn how to create and launch your podcast confidently. I created and launched the Black Directory Podcast within a month, and I received over 300 downloads within my first 60 days of launching. Incredible, right? In this podcast ebook, I'll teach you how to define your niche, identify your audience, purchase equipment on a budget, find the perfect guest for your show, and market your podcast before you even launch. No more standing on the sidelines because it's your turn to have a game-changing podcast. Get this course while it's on sale, and I can't wait to hear your new podcast show. For more information, visit diamondunlimited.co or check out the show notes. And then, I don't know, I wanted to, and maybe y'all can drop some stuff in the comments on social media. I've been hearing this concept, and this is totally switching gears, this concept of quiet quitting. And I've been like, what is that? Like, I've been hearing it more and more, whether it's at work or on TikTok. And I don't know, I had to Google it and see what that was. And basically what I got from it is just the notion of not going over and beyond at work, killing yourself, sorry for the strong language, but not just exhausting yourself, rather. Not going over and beyond, meaning it doesn't mean you just not like put your best foot forward. But if your hours are 9 to 5, you work from 9 to 5. You're not staying late. You're not really just, again, stressing yourself out, working overtime, going over and beyond just to not be appreciated, just to not be promoted and to still feel not seen and unheard. And people basically, it's a trend where people are like, you know what, I'm quiet quitting. It doesn't mean they're actually quitting their job, but they're no longer doing things that don't serve them at work. And when I realized what this was, to be honest, well, for one, I'm all for it. Let me start there. But to be honest, I'm like, wait, I think I was doing this all along. But I didn't have a name for it. But I've been on that type of time. And I don't know if anyone else can relate, but I was telling someone this recently. No job is worth your mental health, your peace of mind, your sanity. And I think it's hard because we've been programmed to do this song and dance where feeds our lifestyles, our livelihood. And I think people are just finally waking up. I think people are seeing that, hey, I can still get the job done without hurting myself. Again, hurting yourself can be mentally, emotionally, or physically, right? And it's just putting yourself first. I think that's where things are headed. And I'm speaking on this too, because I know, again, some listeners may be full-time entrepreneurs and some may be on both sides, right? Like I know for me, I have a business, but I also have a day job. So some people may kind of be like that, or you just can relate from when you were working, or even as entrepreneurs, I think it's all about creating good habits and treating ourselves with kindness. And I don't know, I'm all for people just taking their time back, because I know people that are working to 3 a.m. every day and their wrists are hurting and they're just so unappreciated. And they have to pick up the pieces when they close that laptop, right? If they do close that laptop. And we can't lose ourselves within the work. And that goes for the entrepreneurs or people on the corporate side or whatever. We can't lose ourselves, because say if you were, hopefully this never happens, but say if you were to have a mental breakdown, who's going to pick you up? Who's going to put it back together? You may never be right again mentally from a mental health standpoint. And we don't want to leave these situations broken, spirit broken. You're broken mentally. You're just broken in every kind of way. And a lot of times you can just give yourself fully to the work and you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You're out of control with your home, right? Your house looks crazy, which I understand. And you don't really have time as much as you used to for your kids and for your significant other. I've been seeing a story going around on LinkedIn where I think it's at EY, maybe in the Australia office, someone committed suicide because of the work culture, being overworked for a long period of time to where they felt like life wasn't worth living anymore. And that's incredibly sad. That's so sad. And all I can think about is it's not worth it. And I don't want that to be me. I don't want that to be me. And everyone else is coming out with these stories once that happened of like, actually, yeah, our culture is bad. And yeah, we are overworked and people are starting to speak out. And I know the corporations are mad because, they don't want to look bad. But in reality, this is not okay. When is it okay for our work to become God, to become life, to where we just lose ourselves within it? We're not eating on any kind of schedule, or maybe we're eating once a day. And again, some people choose to do that. But it's like, I'm saying like your habits are so different than maybe when you first got the job or when you first started diving deep into the work. And I'm just all for it. That's my 2 cents. I'm all for it. I've been decided to, making a decision, being intentional about self-care, being intentional about going on vacations. And really, I decided a while ago that I'm never giving my life to the work again, the job again. I'm still there. I'm still going to do great work. People love me. I'm going to have that magnetic personality. I'm a nice person. I'm not going to change myself, but I'm just not going to hurt myself along the way to serve someone else's goals, to serve someone else's KPIs and all this stuff. And it's just not fair. It's not fair, because if I need therapy or I have some kind of psychotic breakdown, who's going to be there for me? And you have to really ask yourself that and just get to that place where you are okay and not punishing yourself, because it is about setting boundaries, right? Like coming to the terms of like, okay, like I want to change some things about my work habits and making sure that I get decent rest and that I'm eating healthy and all those things. But the real work too is the work. It's against yourself, because sometimes it's like, oh, well, I have these deadlines and all this stuff. But a lot of times we can be our worst enemy. We're the ones saying, okay, go another hour, knowing you feel a headache or migraine coming on, go another hour, or just finish this task. And it's like we push and we push, but sometimes you go too far. it's possible for us to all go too far to where we may push the wrong button and it's just not going to be good. So I'm all for quiet quitting. Please let me know on Instagram if this is something that you're practicing. I would love to know your thoughts on it. But yes, we are taking back our mental all 2022 and beyond. So I'm all for that. But before I go, I want to get into a little housekeeping. Right now, we are doing a lot of work on the website and on the app. Definitely the website right now is the priority. We're just doing a whole new thing to where people will be able to have access to the directory on the website. So this is an exciting time, stressful time, as you can imagine. You know, finding developers to work with is like one of the most trickiest things ever. And it's just stressful. I can't even lie. It's very, very stressful, but I'm just praying and hoping for an amazing outcome. You know, I really want to create something that I'm proud of, something that like the functionality is out of this world, and I'm just in it. You know, I'm in the thick of it. I'm in that process. So if you see anything, you know, where you're like, wait, what's going on? That's what's going on. We're just doing some remodeling, revamping. We're coming back strong this fall. So hopefully I'll have some news for you soon on when the website will have its relaunch, and then the app will be after that. So you can still sign up. We have a form where if you want to make sure that you're on the list when we have this directory, you know, we got you covered. So no worries there, but we'll definitely be putting a lot of our efforts, of course, into the podcast, but on social media, especially TikTok, we're really going into overdrive, just sharing all the Black businesses that we can and showing love as well. So please let us know also if you want to be featured on TikTok, you know, so that's something that we want to do as well. Just making sure that people have access and to know that your business exists and how they can support you. So that's something, that's a little housekeeping there. And also if you visit any of our link trees, and again, we can make sure also to include this in the show notes, you can now leave us a voicemail, which is so exciting. I'm ready for that, to hear that first one. But on our pod page, you can totally leave us a voicemail. So if there's anything that you want us to talk about on the show, whether it's a topic, maybe it's a question, right? And you just, hey, this is my question. We want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. So that's something that I would love to incorporate into the show, is playing the voicemails so we can talk about some real stuff. And everything doesn't have to be serious. It can be a light topic. It could be something you've seen on Twitter, and maybe you just want us to talk about it and you want to hear what I'm thinking about it. It could be something technical about like marketing ideas for TikTok. It could really be whatever you want it to be. But my goal is to make this podcast as useful as possible. I want you to feel, of course, entertained and like you're having fun, but I also want you to feel like you have what you need to be successful in your life. So if you have any ideas or topics, please be sure to leave us a voicemail. We will be listening. And I'm just super excited about that new feature. And also leave us a review. If this is a podcast that you enjoy, we would love to hear from you. So we'll make sure you have all that stuff. That way we can hear directly from you. And yeah, that's all I got today. I hope you all have an amazing week. I hope you all practice quiet quitting or self-care to some extent, and just really protecting yourself, protecting your peace, protecting your minds, and really just having discernment. That's something I've been working on as well, having discernment for people you want to do business with, people that you want to tell great news to, people that you may want to partner with, collaborate with. Let's just put that in the air as well, just the power of discernment. But yes, I hope you all have a great week, and looking forward to talking to you on the next podcast. Bye. thank you for spending some time with us. Enjoying the show? Be sure to subscribe and leave us a rating and review. Interested in connecting with Black-owned businesses and joining the family? We got you covered. Download Black Directory in both the iOS and Android app stores. Until next time.